Journey to the Eternal Kingdom. A Young Christian's Pilgrimage. Chapter 17. Will Kingsley be welcomed to the Palace of Delight? At the sound of the bell, a beautiful young woman came to the door. Her name was Deploria.
It is kind of late. We had just sat down to supper. What can I help you with, my dear porter?
She asked with a gentle smile, which took the sting out of her words. Kingsley was nervous. He did not want to be turned out into the night and was afraid that the lady of the house would not want to welcome a stranger into their home after dark, but her face was encouraging.
Well, ma'am, Miss Deploria, this brave young lad has begun his journey from the city of Babylon, and he is asking if he may rest here for the night.
Oh,
Said Deploria. Turning her face to Kingsley, she asked,
what is your name?
My name is Kingsley, ma'am. I left the city of Babylon to begin my journey to the eternal kingdom.
How is it you are arriving so late, young man?
she asked, her eyes narrowing in suspicion. Kingsley blushed and lowered his eyes, whispering,
It is because of my carelessness that I have arrived at your home past sunset, for which I truly apologize. I fell asleep under the arbor the good king had provided, and then my card of certification fell out. I had to return for it. I finally found it, but it cost me precious hours. I made it here before it got too dark out there, but the lions were also a deterrent. I was stuck in one place for a while, drawing up the courage to move forward.
I have one more question for you, Kingsley.
Deploria said.
Whom have you met along the way so far?
So Kingsley proceeded to tell her all about his adventures with Bendy, influencer, and preacher. He ended his tale by saying,
I would love very much, ma'am, if you would allow me to stay here for the night, especially now that I understand and know this place was built by my lord the king as a refuge and shelter for his pilgrims, for relief, security, and protection.
After listening to Kingsley's tale, she nodded her head and with a sympathetic and slightly sad smile said,
Oh, my dear boy, you are quite brave to have begun this journey on your own and to keep trying even when you fall down. Let me call the rest of my family.
She turned and went back inside, calling her daughters Carrie, Faith, and Devote. After a short conversation, during which Kingsley retold parts of his story, now with Deploria's help, they decided he could be trusted, and truly was one of the king's pilgrims. They invited him in to meet the rest of the family, who welcomed him warmly and explained that their home was considered a missionary house, built specifically for the purpose of rescuing and encouraging weary pilgrims like himself. Kingsley was in awe of the warmth and welcome he felt. It had been a long time since he felt so received, certainly not since his mother died. Dinner was not quite ready, so they sat down, and Carrie, Faith, and Devote began to question Kingsley about his journey. Carrie began,
We know that we can grow and learn from each other, so tell me, what made a little boy like you decide to begin this pilgrim's life without anyone from your family or friends joining you?
Oh, ma'am, there was an evangelist who came often to my city and warned us kids and anyone who would listen of the pending doom that would one day come upon the city. But most of all, he talked about the good king and all he has done for us. And I felt the need to make the good king happy with me. It took me a long time to gather the courage to leave.
He then told them again about his adventure to the Wicket Gate and how Bendy left once he got stuck in the mud. He told them of what he saw at Perception's house, the gaming room and the people trapped inside, the boys who fell asleep on the pathway and would not allow themselves to be awakened. But most important and impressive of all, Kingsley told them about the moment Jesus took his burdens and rolled them away.
Oh, how I rejoiced in that moment,
He said,
and it has made my journey so much pleasanter since then. And lastly, I am grateful for the porter on watch tonight, or I fear I would have returned down the hill because of those fierce lions.
Faith leaned forward with a smile.
I have a question for you, Kingsley. Do you sometimes think of Babylon, your friends and family, and long to return home?
Sometimes when I am frightened, I am tempted to think of Babylon fondly.
Kingsley admitted.
But then I am reminded by the word of the good king how lonely and afraid I felt in that city. And I am reminded that I am going to a place the good king and his father have prepared for me, and for all pilgrims who have decided to start on this journey.
Yes!
Said Faith excitedly.
Remember Hebrews 11:15-16, and truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to return. But now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly. Wherefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he hath prepared for them a city.
You are but a child. I wonder how long you will last on this journey.
Devote chimed in with a sad, knowing smile. Kingsley bowed his head in humility, but then spoke boldly.
I know I am but a boy, ma'am, but if you could have felt the fear and dread that live with me every day, clinging to me and holding me back, and then to begin this journey and find that in every difficulty the good king was there helping me, and to no longer have my sins weigh me down, to know that the good king did all this for me, and that if I were the only sinner, he would have died for me just the same. Well, I want to lay at his feet and tell him how much I love and appreciate his sacrifice. The fact that he loved me when I was not thinking of him is sometimes beyond my understanding. But to live with him forever and ever, that, ma'am, is what keeps me going when I'm at the point of giving up. The good book says in Revelation 21:4, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. That is what I am looking forward to, ma'ams.
After that statement, the three women leaned back with pleased smiles.
Our dear young pilgrim, we are so happy to hear the words you speak,
Said Faith, with the others nodding in agreement. Dinner soon arrived, and everyone gathered at the dining room table where the conversation continued. The rest of the family asked Kingsley questions as well and invited him to retell parts of his story. Then the conversation turned to the good king and the reason this home was built. They explained that the home had been theirs for hundreds of generations and that its purpose had always been to help weary travelers. They reminded Kingsley that in the Bible, during the distribution of Canaan, God had provided cities of refuge for anyone accused of a crime, and since a person innocent until proven guilty, and so this was always the premise of their home, to be a refuge for pilgrims journeying to the eternal kingdom.
We welcome you, Kingsley,
They said,
and we are so happy that you are here with us. Just sorry that you made the journey alone. Tell us, did you not want to leave with any friends?
I certainly did.
Kingsley replied.
One of my friends, Bendy, started the journey with me, but he stopped at the first sign of trouble. And my best friend Kaylee didn't believe me. Though she was always kind to me, I did not get to say goodbye to her. I will always be sad about that. I pray that one day she will listen to Preacher and begin the journey.
Soon dinner was served, and Kingsley ate heartily, grateful for a roof over his head and good food in his stomach. The girls showed him to a warm, cozy room on the upper level. After a warm shower, Kingsley happily hopped into bed and let the memories of the day wash over him. He did not forget to pray and thank the king for all his help so far. Before long, Kingsley was asleep, dreaming of his journey, and lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my!